Welcome back. I just finished knitting the cuff of my mitten and I'm ready to start the increases for the thumb gusset. So I'm making the women's size. So I have 18 stitches on my needle and I'm going to knit 8, or for any of the sizes, if you're using the magic loop method, you'll knit until you have 1 stitch left on the needle. So for the women's size, that's 8. And then we'll place a marker. And I'll show you how to do these increases. Okay, there's 8 stitches. I'm going to place a marker. And then the first increase is going to be a make 1 right. So if you look in between your stitches, there's this little strand of yarn, a horizontal strand that runs between the stitches. And we're going to pick that up from the back. Put it on our left needle. So to make 1 right, we're going to knit into the front of this little stitch that we've just made, like so. And we made 1. So it's a right leaning increase, which looks really nice at the thumb. And then I knit 1 stitch. And we're going to go on to the other side. And we're going to make 1 left. I'll flip my pattern for a second here. Okay. We're just going to make 1 left, which is the same idea, it's just backwards. So we're going to bring the needle through the front of that bar between stitches and place it on the needle. And then we're going to knit into the back of that stitch. And then we're going to place our other marker and knit to the end of the round. Okay, so we've increased 2 stitches. So now we have 3 stitches between our stitch markers for the thumb. So the next round is just a plain knit round, and then I'll show you the increases again. Okay, so that was just a plain knit round. So the next round we're going to increase again. So now we just knit to our marker. We're going to slip the marker and we're going to make 1 right again. So bring your left needle from the back to the front through that strand. And if it's a little hard to knit the make 1 right, I kind of use my finger and roll the yarn up on the needle a little bit. It gives you just kind of a little bit of slack to get your needle in. And there's our make 1 right. We're going to knit to our next marker. And we're going to make 1 left again. So bring the needle from the front to the back and knit through the back and slip our marker. So now we have 5 stitches for the gusset. Now if you're making the toddler or child size, that's all the gusset stitches that you need. So you would knit here, and then we'll remove these stitches onto some waist yarn. But for the women's size, we need to keep going until we have 7. So another plain knit round. Okay, last increase round for the women's size. And knit to the marker, slip the marker, make 1 right, so the needle goes from the back to the front, And then you knit through the front. And knit to the next marker. And make one left. Bring the needle from the front to the back and knit through the back. And slip your marker. So for the women and men sizes only, you're going to knit one more round before we remove the thumb stitches. But for a toddler, child, and teen, you are not going to knit one round. You would just knit to the marker and remove those stitches, which I'll show you how to do that next. Okay, so if you're making the men's size, you'll keep increasing one more round. But for the women's, I'm just going to knit to the marker and remove my thumb stitches to some waste yarn. Okay, so knit to my marker. I'm going to take my stitch marker off. I've got a little strand of waste yarn here. Put that on the tapestry needle, and we're going to remove these thumb stitches that we have between the marker onto our waste yarn. So just slip them onto the needle and onto the yarn. And 3 more. Okay, so those will be our thumb stitches. You can take off that other marker, but we're just going to ignore them for now. So you don't have to worry about them just yet. Okay. So next we need to cast on 1 stitch, and then we'll continue knitting the body of the mitten. So to cast on, we're going to use the backwards loop cast on. Just going to hold the yarn in your left hand, bring your thumb under and around, and put your needle under this front strand and slide that off onto your needle. So we've made 1 stitch. So now, and I put that on the front stitch, so we're back to 18 stitches total. And we'll just keep knitting. And we'll knit until it's time to decrease the thumb, and then I'll show you what we do with these thumb stitches. Or sorry, we're going to knit until we decrease the hand of the mitten, and then we'll deal with the thumb stitches.